Now, in case of leading financial institutions, the impact parameters are indirect as they are derived from their underlying companies and assets IP values in proportion to the investments planned for or made into. Then they are called planned financed IP or actual financed IP. These leading financial institutions need to be classified into standardized categories with their standardized data elements that would include their standardized financed IPs for each of the SDGs, their weightage into it and their ideal value per unit of the leading FI's turnover, planned or actual. Then these leading FIs financed actual IP percent achievement will be calculated from their financed actual IP measured against their financed ideal financed IP instead of their planned financed IP. This is to discourage portfolio greening. The ideal financed IP value will be arrived at from the leading FI's planned turnover and its ideal financed IP value per unit of the leading FI's planned turnover, which is standardized based on the category it belongs to. Now, we have not yet measured the overall sustainability performance of these entities, which can be done based on the assumption that an entity's total direct or indirect impacts towards its one purpose is equal to the sum of its total direct or indirect impacts towards its 16 sustainable development goals, leaving aside the 17th, which is actually created to support achievement of other 16. Then the sum of weighted SDG percent achievement will denote the overall sustainability performance of these entities. Then we need to attach a weightage to each of these SDGs. In other words, the entities need to declare their targeted relative focus across 16 SDGs. In case of large corporations in the real economy, as per this methodology, they would do so upon measuring their actual relative focus across 16 SDGs and having noted their ideal value, that is standardized based on the sector they belong to. And in case of leading financial institutions, they will arrive at their targeted and actual relative focus across 16 SDGs from their planned financed IP, actual financed IP, planned turnover, actual turnover, their standardized data elements as explained earlier based on the category they belong to, and additionally their ideal financed IP per unit of the leading FI's planned turnover. Now, you may ask why the sum of weighted SDG percent achievement is a comparable metric across leading FIs and their categories or across large corporations and their sector. To this, we need to note that the metric simply denotes the percent of total planned direct or indirect impacts towards the entity's purpose that is achieved. Now, when these direct or indirect impacts are towards the purpose of the entity, they also align with one or more SDGs. These direct or indirect impacts are nothing but the non-financial outcomes of the entities. These outcomes do not come from a profit mindset, but the entities having a purpose, a higher purpose beyond just making a profit.